Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the We Run on Coffee podcast. I'm Marissa,
And I'm Erica.
and I feel like me and Erica haven't talked in like 47 years.
Yeah, also, I'm really glad you went first because I almost said, and I'm Marissa again. I
Oh,
don't know why sometimes I just do that. So I'm like, wait, I'm glad she said it first. I had to be like, wait, I'm Erica.
it's
Yeah.
funny.
Also, waving, I was like, wait, this is so weird. I don't think I've ever waved to you guys, but it's so cool. I hope you're on
Uh,
video.
we feel like we don't know what we're doing today. We're
It's a
recording
crazy
on a
day.
Thursday evening, so nobody knows
So
what's going
random.
on.
Yeah.
Neither of us planned our episodes until today.
Yeah.
So,
We're
we
wild.
just are a little bit crazy, goofy, funny today.
Yeah. I love it. It's the best.
But Erica, what are you drinking this evening?
Oh, yes. I decided I would open it for you guys to give a little ASMR. I'm drinking a Waterloo. This is the Ruby Red Tangerine, and I'm going to open it for you guys. Ready?
I'm ready.
I have to put my microphone to it. Let's see if I can do it.
I didn't hear it at all.
Actually, that might be a downside of Zoom because you did something recently,
Oh.
and I was like, oh, we definitely didn't hear. Oh, you stirred your ice or something? I don't know. And I was like, we definitely couldn't hear that. I feel like Zoom's doing this to me. So, what the heck, Zoom? On our old software,
Well,
you definitely would have heard that.
if you didn't hear it,
So
it's probably
anticlimactic.
because we cut it out and we're starting the
Yeah, and it's
episode here
embarrassing.
now, but that's
Yep.
okay.
Ruby red tangerine Waterloo. What are you drinking?
Yes. I have a Bravazzi in a wine
Mm!
glass
I haven't had Bravati in so long. I have not had it
because
because nowhere sells it here anymore.
because it's a late
God,
night episode, I thought I would get a little crazy and I
that's
would make a
so
little
fun.
drink and I didn't want to just drink
I'm
it out of the
jealous.
can, so I put it in a wine glass
I love
and
it.
this is the clementine flavor.
So good. I love that the Bravazzis are colored. That was always my
Hmm
favorite thing. Like they're just
hmm
so bright and cute and yum. I'm jealous. I really want. Well, this is literally the last sparkling water in my fridge that I will drink. There's one flavor left, but only Angela
hmm
likes it.
hmm
And we have no anything. I wanted some Cayman Jack margaritas. I'm like, we need a stock. We need a big stock up. So that's on my
hmm
list for this weekend.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah, need it. But
Well,
I'm jealous. Love.
that's okay. What have you been up to? Give me your
Okay.
updates.
I said I have a lot of updates. I probably do, but I only wrote down three main topics. But anyways,
Hmm
okay. First thing is, well, we were gone for 2 weeks, you guys know if you've been keeping up. So we were in a hotel for 2 weeks. And throughout that whole time, we made all these new habits, which I kind of talked a little bit about, but I want to talk about my favorite one. So, excuse me,
Oh.
guys. I had a fresh burp from that drink. I was like, wait, it's coming. Okay, while we were in the hotel, Angela would get up really early to go to work, and I wouldn't have to work, so I'd just be hanging out. So we'd get up super early, and we'd have to be ready by 6:45, and then we would go downstairs in the hotel, and we'd eat breakfast together in the little free breakfast area, and then we'd go back upstairs, and Angela would go to work, and then it would be like 7:15, and I'm like, what do I do? For those whole 2 weeks, I spent that time like working on the podcast, working on my YouTube before work started at 8. And I realized that I freaking hacked my own life. I was like, finally, I figured it out. I figured out the problem. Because for me, when I hit like 2:30, 3 p.m., I'm seriously so done. So I work 8 to 4 because I know I can't make it past 4. Like I actually cannot. I will not do anything productive. And then I don't want to work on my podcast, don't want to work on YouTube, don't want to work on things that I like. I'm like, these are the things I like to do. So I hacked my life and I'm calling this new thing that I'm doing from 7 to 8 a.m. my happy hour. I just thought that was like a cute name. So every morning at 7 a.m. I have my happy hour and that's where I do things that are just like about me. So one time I did my nails, I've been editing videos, I've been doing, if you guys follow me on Instagram, you've probably seen I'm doing monthly hauls where I link things on my story that I bought for the past month. Just like fun things that I enjoy doing. And I do them from 7 to 8 alone and I have coffee and then I start work. And it is so much better. First of all, I never wake up late for work anymore because I'm already up. Second of all, I'm working on things I should be working on, which this sounds like it's not working because I didn't plan the episode till today. But otherwise, it has been for the past couple weeks. And along with that, we were drinking hotel coffee for 2 weeks, which I already talked about how I'm trying to drink one coffee a day now because that's what I did when I was there and it's possible. So I've also
hmm
been doing that. So 7 to 8's my coffee hour, and then after that, no more coffee. And it's so wild. So now I have iced tea in the afternoon because I had to have something. But yeah, that's my happy hour update. So I wanted to share that with you
I
guys.
like that.
Yeah, I finally figured
That's
it
what I
out.
think like my workout hour is.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good one. I had to find that. I had to find the way it was going to work, which I told you guys on the pod, I think at some point, or my YouTube channel, that this year I want to learn how to live my life better for me, like more adapted for me. Like I
Hmm.
like to be up earlier, I like to go to bed earlier. So that's just a part of it. So that was exciting. And then the other update, oh my God, Marissa was texting me about this morning. I'm so excited to tell you guys. I sold my tickets to the festival. I'm so excited.
Yay.
Yeah, so this is fun. So I had sand in my boots tickets, you guys know, and I was trying to get rid of them. So I listed them on Facebook. So I was grinding. I was on Facebook groups, Facebook pages. I was on the official Sand in My Boots page going through the comments, commenting back to people like, I'm selling, I'm selling, I'm selling, going crazy, Facebook Marketplace, whatever. It was listed everywhere, Instagram stories, anywhere I could think of. I'm DMing people. Like I was going freaking ham trying to sell these. And finally, I mean, I had a lot of interest. A lot of people on Facebook would message me and they would be like, hey, I'm interested. How much? How much? How much? And then they would never answer again. Typical Facebook stuff. This one woman, she messages me. She's like, I'm really interested in these. How much? And I told her, and then she was like, how would I get them? Because I live in Alabama and I would want to meet up. And I'm like, well, I can't meet up with you. I live in Ohio. And
Uh-huh.
her name's Donna. I'll give her a shout out. I seriously doubt she's listening to this, but she does know about my podcast and stuff. And she told me I should put this on my podcast, which I think is so cute.
Okay, Donna.
No, she's, oh my God, Donna slays. Okay, so she's DMing with me, and I'm like, you know what? I've never had to sell concert tickets. Like, I promise I'm not trying to scam. I will do whatever you need me to do. We can get a video call, whatever that you want to feel comfortable. I understand it's weird. And she was like, yeah, I just got scammed out of $800 trying to get tickets for the show. And I was like, oh my God, like, I feel so bad. So she was like, I'm really interested, but I'm really nervous to do it. I was like, that's fine. I'm nervous too. There's a lot of even buyers trying to sell scam sellers. So it's just so crazy out there. So, anyways, she's messaging with me and she finally sends me her phone number and she's like, okay, like text me about this. So I text her and I'm like, hey, here's all the data. Here's all, not the data, the information. What do you want to do? And she's like, I want to buy them. And how about we do a video call when you go to the post office? I was like, okay. So literally, I got all the details worked out. We drive to the post office and then we start video calling her in the front seat of my car. And we prop the phone up and I'm like, hi, Donna. And I met her for the first time. She was sending me photos like to show she was real or whatever. She was
Hmm.
sending me photos of her and her son who she's going to take to the
Oh.
concert. He goes to
Oh.
college in Alabama and she was like, I just want something fun to take him to do. So it was so cute. She sent selfies. So yeah, we're video calling and I'm like, okay, like here's the ticket. I'm showing her every single item. I'm like, okay, I'm putting it in. I'm putting it in. And then I showed her
Yeah.
taping it shut. Okay, still showing it. And then we walk into the post office and I'm so nervous that they're going to yell at me because you're not supposed to film in a post office.
Oh, true.
So yeah, it's like not supposed to be a thing. So then we walk into the post office. We're still on the call and I have an earbud in and Angela has an earbud in with her. And he's like filming the package just to show that I'm not swapping it or whatever.
Hmm.
We go in and we get, I think his name is Jonathan. I don't want to get it wrong. I think his name is Jonathan. We get Jonathan, the best USPS worker ever. And he helped us with our passports. And we just left that day being like, oh my God, like that was amazing. This guy is so helpful. Like he has so much knowledge. Well, we get him again. I'm like, yes. And he looks grumpy and he looks like you wouldn't want to talk to him. And he looks like a buff, like city, like New Yorker guy that you just like don't want to
Hmm.
talk to, but he's nice. He's so nice. So we walk up and I'm like trying to be sly. And then he's asking me questions like, do you want to, have a signature? And I was like, oh shit, I don't know. So then I just had to be like, hey, Donna, can you hear this? And she was like, yes. So now I have him talking to her through me through the earbud. And it was just really funny. So we got up to the desk and I said, okay, Jonathan, I need a second. I stepped to the side. I said, okay, Donna, you're going to have to send the Venmo through before I hand it to him. So she sent
Oh,
the Venmo
true.
through because I was like, I'm not trying to hand it to him and have him throw it in the back. And then she never pays me. So
That's
she
true.
did. She sent the payment and I made Angelo transfer it to my bank immediately before I said that we got it. I was like, oh, it's being really slow. And he saw that it went through, transferred to my account, and then I was like, all right, we can do it. So I took it over to Jonathan. I'm like, let's ship it. Then Jonathan tells me that the stamp or the package, what's it called? Label, I bought it online and printed it. He was like, yeah, that's just a standard ground label, which on my computer it said 3 days, which would have been fine. He's like, well, it's supposed to be 2 to 3 days, but if it goes to Richmond, Virginia, you'll not see it for a long time. I was like,
Oh.
what? He was like, there is a backup at Richmond, Virginia right now that we can't even give you a delivery date because it
Oh,
is so bad. We can't even tell you when it's going to get there. I was like,
good.
well, that's not going to work. I'm like, we can't do that. She might not make it. So then I was
Yeah.
like, how much would it be to overnight it? And he's like, well, it's called overnighting it, but it doesn't actually mean overnight. I'm
Jonathan, I
like,
don't care.
oh
Just give me the
God.
answer.
He was going crazy with the facts, but I guess because I don't know. They're having all kinds of issues at the post office right
Yeah,
now. I
I
don't know.
bet they're having a bunch of delays.
Yeah. So he was like, if she doesn't get it within 2 days, and he was like telling it to Donna through the headphones, he's like, if she doesn't get it at 5:59 p.m. local time, it has to be there by 6. If it's not even, it's 5:59, you need to come back to us and we will give you your money back. It was like, I don't know, almost $40. He was like, it's a 100% money back guarantee. So anyways, I'm like, all right, send it off. So we send it off and then we leave, and I hang up with Donna. She was so nice. And the
Oh, poor
next
lady.
day, she texts,
Poor
I
lady was
text
so
her. I
scared.
know she was. And the next day I text her because I was tracking it too. And I was like, Donna, it says delivered. It literally got delivered in less than 24 hours. I couldn't even believe it. I was like, how did
Wow.
that happen? And then she was just so nice, but she was like, anytime if you come back, like if you're going to go to the Gulf Shores or anything, or just in general, if you ever come to Alabama, please let us know. We always travel down to the beach. We'll meet up with you. We can get dinner. I was like, I will. I literally
I
will.
will
We're
get dinner with you,
besties.
Donna. We are
Yes.
best friends.
She was so sweet. So, anyways, that's the very long story. But
Oh,
she paid 100%. Like, she just paid the amount I paid for them. And then she paid for the shipping. And I didn't lose any
she
money.
did. That's so
Yes,
nice
I
because like
know.
you
I
were
was going
trying to make
to.
sure she could get them. So it's like more
Yes.
on you at that point, I guess. But
Yeah, 100%. I
and
was going
because she was
to.
so nervous, I would definitely pay the $40 just to be like, okay,
Same.
Donna, I'm trying to
It's
make sure
done.
that like you get them and I'm not scamming you.
Exactly. I know. And because after we left the post office, I'm looking at my Venmo. I see the first one, but then I see another one and it was for $30. And I see another one and it was for $5. She kept sending more. I was like, this is enough. No more, no more. I
You're
was
like,
like,
stop, it's
you covered
okay.
it. So she
Yeah.
was so nice. And as we were filming going in the post office, I was like, she said, my son looked you up online and said you seemed very real. And I said, because I told her too, I said,
Yeah.
I have YouTube and a podcast and I'm kind of online a lot. So you feel free to look through my stuff.
Yeah.
Totally.
Like
And so
make sure that you think
yeah.
I'm real too.
Yeah, I was like, I told Angela, I was like, I don't want to say the word stalk, but I basically told her, like, just stalk me and you'll see.
Yeah.
But I guess her son did, and I was like, good. I almost told her to have her son do it, but I didn't want to be
Because he would
weird.
like know a
But
little
he
bit
would
more,
get
I
it.
guess. Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, she said he verified me. He said I was good, so that was cool. And maybe I'll meet up with her to get dinner. It was so cute. Oh,
Yeah.
but when I was walking in, I was like, Donna, this is like your own personal vlog because Angela's just videoing me, and that's when she's like, yeah, why aren't you filming this? You should put this on your podcast. So I thought that was cute, and I was like, all right, now I have to tell the story on the
Well,
podcast.
if we get a new listener out
Adorable.
of Donna, you're
I
so
hope.
sweet. I'm so sorry you lost
Yes.
$800.
Me too. If you're here, Donna, heart, we love you. And let me know. Comment or Facebook message me. We're Facebook friends now, so you
Oh,
can
yeah, of
message me and let
course.
me
You
know if you
have to
saw
be
this.
because you have to see the time that she has to stand in my
She
booth.
said, yes, she said, I'm going to send you pictures. I'm like, please do. I will be waiting. I want pictures,
Yeah.
videos, all the songs.
That's
I'm
so
jealous.
funny.
Yeah. So that was adorable. And then, okay, one more update, you guys.
Okay.
This is my big one. And if you've noticed, I can't breathe. And it is because I got my allergy test today. That's not
Oh,
why I can't
okay.
breathe, but I'm
You
so
went today?
excited. I went today.
Oh.
So I had been needing to go. Okay. Very short
Okay.
backstory. Marissa knows it, but for you guys, last April's when I first noticed my sense of smell was gone.
Hmm.
September is when I finally went to the doctor about it. We did, the nasal endoscopy. We did the CT scans. You guys know I'm missing upper sinus in my forehead. I'm also have an enlarged turbinate in my nose. That's a short story. That was last September. Now it's April. So now it's been a full year and I still don't have normal smell. And now I really can't breathe. And I've been noticing
You
it
do
getting
sound a little
worse.
bit nasally, like not
I am.
horrible, like you're sick, but I can
Yeah.
tell that you're stuffy.
Stuffed. Yeah, 100%. I was noticing that today too. But I feel like it's been getting worse. So I'm like, all right, it's time. And I called a while ago and left a voicemail, but they never answered. And it takes a lot, you guys, for me to call somewhere. So I just put it off for a long
I
time.
hate it.
It's
It's my least
so
favorite
bad.
thing.
I know. I'm like, come on. So I finally did it again, but this time I just filled out a form online and they called me, which made it way easier.
Yes.
So yeah, she was like, well, we have a cancellation for tomorrow. Like literally yesterday. I was like, okay, when? And she told me it was at 10:30. I'm like, all right, I'll be there. So I have
Did you just end up
pictures.
taking today off of work then?
I didn't think it was going to take a long time. So I was just like, oh, I'm going to go to this. Usually if we have something like a dentist appointment or whatever, it's like an hour, no biggie, just come back, get your work done, whatever. My boss is pretty chill. But this ended up by the time we did it and then we got lunch after, it took 3 hours total. So I was like, holy shit. So when I got back, I ended up putting in 3 hours of sick time because you can do it just like
Yeah.
partial days. So first of all, this is me in my gown.
Oh, so cute.
I decided to put some pictures, you guys. I'll put them on the screen, but I'm showing
Did
Marissa.
you get so itchy?
Yeah, so this was my back. Oh, definitely can't see
I
it.
can't
But
see. I can see the marker dots.
I wish I brought the paper down. It was on my desk. But yeah, so they did 8 trays of allergens, and each one had 8 allergens in it. And I
Mm-hmm.
was reading up about it beforehand, which, by the way, you guys, if you're ever going to get, and this is very random, a root canal, don't look it up first. Just go get it done. That's all I have
Oh,
to say.
okay.
That
I've had
one
a root
will
canal.
stress you out. If you watch a video of that, do not. Like that one will
Okay.
stress you out. However, allergy testing, look it up first. You'll learn a lot. It was cool. It didn't freak me out. So, I guess what they do is they will do a little skin prick and they will do two things for control. One, they'll put saline, and then
Mm-hmm.
one, they'll put histamine. And so I guess
Yeah.
when they do that, when they put histamine, you should have a reaction. Everybody should. That is their control of like, okay, this is what it's going to look like. And if
Yeah.
you don't have a reaction to that, then that is an indicator to them that the back test might not be a good test for you because it's not going to show your allergens.
Mm-hmm.
Then they do a saline and that should have no reaction for
Mm-hmm.
anyone, but if it does, then that's an indicator that you might have overly sensitive skin. So I
Mm-hmm.
just thought that was
For
interesting.
anybody that's a scientist or anybody that wants to
Yeah,
know the science behind that, that's called a negative and a positive control. So a
love.
negative control should have nothing. It should just be, like Erica said, just something that should not cause a reaction.
Yeah.
Or like in my line of field, it would be like no DNA is present in that sample. And
Mm-hmm.
then positive control would cause a reaction, or in my line of work,
Love.
it has a known amount of DNA in it. So we know that
Yeah.
the process worked.
Ah, okay, so that's exactly what I had, and I love that. And so yeah, the histamine was the one thing that lit up first. I was like, okay,
Hmm.
yeah, for sure that worked. And so they have you answer first a bunch of
I've
lifestyle
done one
questions.
allergy test, but it was like when I
Oh,
was like 8 years old.
Oh, okay. Wait, no, that's so interesting. I'd never done anything, so I was just like not knowing what to expect. But they hit me with like, where do you live? Like, what type of house? I'm like, what?
Hmm.
But they were like, yeah, what type of house? I was like, condo. So what I think they were getting at that I didn't know at first is that I don't live on a farm. So they didn't test me for
Mm.
farm animals like cattle and things like that. Which
Yeah.
now Angela's like, maybe you should have gotten that for if we get animals in the future. I'm like, oh,
Hmm.
that's a good point. But anyways, ask me all the lifestyle questions. So the only things I didn't get were food, anything food, and animals. But I did
Really?
get cat and dog. But the reason I didn't get
Interesting.
food, and I learned so much today. It was honestly amazing. I highly recommend everyone go get an allergy test. Also, I got two done and they were both 100% covered by insurance. I checked first and I was like, that's amazing. So why
I'm
wouldn't
gonna
you?
look.
You should.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you guys what I did too, in case anyone out there listening's curious, because I really recommend it. Even if you don't feel like you're allergic to something, it's good to know yes or no. So this is what I did. I went on my insurance website and logged in, and then I did live chat with a person yesterday. I said, I have this appointment tomorrow. Can you tell me if it's going to be covered or not? And they said, can you ask the doctor for the CPT code or procedure code? And I was like, okay. So I called and asked for the procedure code. She's like, oh, yeah, that's a great idea to check with your insurance. Here they are. Gave me the two codes for the two tests. Went back to the chat and I was like, this is the code. And they were like, yes, 100% coverage. All you have to pay is the copay. I was like, I'm shook. That never happens. So
Yeah.
everybody check with your insurance, even if it's just live chat. You don't even have to call them. Easy. And you could email with the doctor if you got time. You don't have to call no
Hmm.
one. Anyways, so that's a little backstory. But I don't remember what track I was on, but I'll get
You
back
said
to the
you didn't do
test.
food
Oh,
because.
yes. Okay. I didn't do food because she asked me all the indicating questions about food, i.e., do you think you have food allergies? And I said, well, I definitely have lactose intolerance. And she was like, yeah, totally. That's all gastro. We're like digestive. So we're not testing for anything like that. And I was like, yeah, I'd figured. And she said, do you have any other reactions to food like tingly in your mouth, lips swell, rash, breaking out in hives if you eat something? I was like, no, not anything. Like, not one singular food. So she just didn't test any.
Hmm.
Now, I'm like, if it's covered by insurance, I would have rather had it all. I
Yeah.
didn't know that. So when I go back for my follow up, I might ask her, like, could we do the food and animal ones? Whatever. But anyways, 8 trays, 8 allergens each. I only had two allergies on my back light up. So one was the histamine, and then there were two in the weeds category. So I'm
Mm.
very allergic to, I have to look it up to tell you guys the name. And it's a weed that you're going to be like, I've never heard of that. And I'll show you a picture and you'll know what it is. It's really
Is it
funny. It's
ragweed?
common. No, I'm not allergic to ragweed.
Interesting.
This
I
is
feel like that's the one you
called,
always hear.
I know that is a common one. No, I'm very, okay, this is my biggest allergy, you guys. I am very allergic to English plantain, which is these guys. You
Oh.
know those little guys that
Mm-hmm.
grow out of the ground and they have like the little spike on them. So that's my highest allergy is English plantain. And the way they were saying about the back allergies is they obviously do the pricks, they put the allergen in, and then they wait for reaction. 14 minutes I had to freaking lay there. And
It's so itchy too. Even if you're
yes.
not having a reaction, like they do
No,
a
for
little skin
sure.
prick, so you're just like,
Yeah.
"Ugh."
Yes, it was so like I'm like, okay, don't touch it, don't touch it. They're like, don't lean on anything, don't touch it. Um, but yeah, so that was my biggest one, and they said that when they do the back one, it's a very low concentration. So
Mm.
even if you are allergic to some things, it might not show on your back because it's so low concentration. But if you do, you are very allergic to it because it's so low concentration. So
Mm-hmm.
all that to say, that's my biggest allergy. And then the other weed that came up in the weeds category was pigweed, which looks like this.
Interesting.
Those
I don't know
big
if I've
long
seen that
sticks.
one.
Well, I was telling Angelo, this kind of looks like something at the park that we ruck at all the time,
Mm.
just like big weeds. Like it wouldn't just be in your yard, but we go to a lot of trails. So I'm like, maybe that's also triggering it. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the weeds. Then she was like, you mentioned that you feel like you're getting worse. It's springtime. That's weird because those are summer fall allergies.
Mm.
Those wouldn't even happen right now. I was like, okay. So she said, we want to go further. We want to do your arm. So they did my arm. You guys can't really see, but there's like dashes going down my arm. Um, so then they tested 5 allergens again, like same ones that were in your back, but in your arm, and they do actual needle and they do higher concentration of them. So here's a little pic. You guys won't be able to see that good, but
Yeah, I
you
see the
can't tell.
lines.
Yeah, you can't tell which ones are bumped, but they tested 5 and only one did not react. 4 did. So I'm allergic to other things. So the one that did not react, I was like, oh, she did another control maybe just to see what it looks like on my arm. So I asked her. She's like, no, that's mold. I was like, oh, okay. Not allergic to
Oh,
mold.
I am.
Really? That's just
Yeah.
so funny. I'm like so not allergic to mold. It did nothing. However, the
Huh.
other 4 did. So the top 2 were different grass, and she did not write that down as an allergy, but they still bumped. So I'm guessing it's just not enough to be a big
Yeah,
deal.
it's probably just like it makes you a little snotty, but not
Yeah,
like
but not
anything
crazy.
crazy.
The bottom 2, which she did write down as being allergic, is trees. Just
Yeah.
trees. So I'm allergic to trees and weeds and a little bit of grass. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, so all that for you to tell me I'm allergic to outside. Cool.
Uh-huh.
So, anyways, you guys, sorry my catch up's 22 minutes today. I'm just going to blabber, but this is what she told me because I just feel like you guys might need to know. And if any of you out there are dealing with this and you won't go get an allergy test or can't, I will tell you what she told me to do about it. Because this is another thing
Take
I
a
learned.
Zyrtec every day.
Well, that's what I asked her. And she said Zyrtec, Claritin, any of those I should not use, which I thought was
Oh.
interesting. And I said, why? And she said, because there's different ways, like different symptoms basically, but people who should take those are the people that have sneezing, coughing, itchy eyes, skin rash, anything. She said, she was like, you don't have a single one of those problems. You have congestion in the sinuses. So she said, my only choice literally is nasal spray.
Mm.
So I got a prescription strength nasal spray that she has me try for. I think I go back in July for a follow up at the beginning of July. So I'm gonna try it for that whole time and see if it works. But then also she said, after being outside or hiking or in nature, come home, take off your
Take
shoes,
a
put
shower.
all your clothes in the laundry, take a shower, clean clothes every time. I'm like, that's gonna be annoying, but I will do it to feel better. Air purifier, just purchased
Hmm.
one. I did that earlier.
I
It was
have
expensive.
one.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
expensive, but I think it's going to be worth it. I'm kind of excited about it. Dehumidifier. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys my other allergy. That's why I'm okay. Whatever. So I told you about the grass and then the
The
mold
trees.
and then the trees, but I forgot to tell you about the dust mites. I'm allergic to dust mites. And
Oh.
that's also apparently a big one. So she said to get dust mite covers for my mattress and my pillows. I'm like,
Mm.
what? That's a thing?
Yeah, and you feel like you probably don't have dust mites, but they're
Right.
like probably all over
You
the
wouldn't
place
know.
and like
Yeah.
it's just not anything that's like causing a nuisance.
Yeah, she was like, make sure you keep your house clean. She's like, I know it sounds silly, but like easier said than done, but make sure you're like really keeping your house clean, not dusty. The air purifier will help. So I got to worry about that. So I'm about to buy some dust mite covers, which I didn't know was a thing. And my friend Cheyenne was like, I don't even have allergies that I know of, but I feel like we should all have that. That just sounds like something you should have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to like protect our mattresses, I
Yeah.
feel.
And then this is the big one. Okay, all of those I'm like, okay, I can adapt my lifestyle to that to feel better. This one I hate. She's like, I know that we all love to do this. We all fall victim, but you need to close your windows. She was like, you're just letting pollen float into your house and stick to all your stuff. And then you're just living in it. So now it's inside and outside. So she was saying
Hmm.
she recommends close all your windows, be an AC house in the summer, and not let all that in. So that's the laundry list of what she told me to do. And that's my
Hmm.
allergies: dust mites, trees, two pollens, and yeah, a little bit of other stuff. But I'm not allergic to mold, and I'm definitely not allergic to cats or dogs, which I thought was cool.
Good.
Yeah.
Isn't Angelo
Angelo
allergic to one of
definitely is.
those?
He's allergic to both.
Okay.
Yeah. I told him he should go get an allergy test, and he's like, no, I know what I'm allergic to. I'm like, but you don't. I'm like, I've never even heard of all these things. You should just go.
Yeah.
I recommend
And if
it.
it's covered, it's fine.
That's what I'm saying. If like 100% coverage, let's go.
Yeah.
So that's my long-winded catch up. What's new with you? I feel like I've been talking for a year.
I feel like nothing crazy is
Okay,
new with me.
that's good.
I've
We
been
can trade
doing
off.
I've been doing physical therapy. It's been
Yeah,
going well. I'm not really
that's
making
good.
any progress, which is
Hmm.
annoying, but
Yeah,
I'm gonna keep trying my best. I do have an appointment tomorrow, so I'm excited to see what happens tomorrow.
yeah.
I did try this really cool new physical therapy technique that I've
Oh,
never heard of. So I guess I can talk about that.
yeah.
It's called blood flow restriction, and
Oh,
that sounds
that
terrifying,
sounds
probably.
scary. Yeah,
But it's basically, do you know what a tourniquet is? You
yeah,
probably know what a tourniquet
yeah.
is. In this day and age, everybody knows what a tourniquet
Yes.
is. So basically, it's a blood pressure cuff in this instance. Sometimes it's just like a rubber band, but in my instance, it's a blood pressure cuff that they put at the base of my hip, so basically on my groin, and
Interesting.
they increase the pressure to cut off 80% of my perfusion or the like blood flow to
Whoa.
my leg.
Hmm.
And
Does
they
that
have
feel
me
weird?
it feels like just tight. It doesn't really
Okay.
feel like my foot went to sleep just a little bit, like not all the way. It was just like
Yeah,
a little tingly, but
yeah,
it just felt like tight.
yeah. Wow,
So
that's really
they
weird.
do that so that the blood that's down there stays down there.
Mm,
And I don't know the whole research because I'm not a physical therapist or a physical
yeah.
therapy assistant, but in talking with like my sister-in-law and with
I
my
know. I
physical
want to know what she thinks. I
therapist,
was gonna say that.
it is apparently incredible for
Oh,
healing.
oh, wow.
And a bunch of professional sports teams do it to promote muscle growth, bone strengthening, like a
Wow.
bunch of stuff like that. And obviously, I have a problem with that. I keep getting
Yeah,
injured.
yeah.
So basically, what I do is they cut off the 80% of my blood flow to my lower extremity, and it's one leg at a time,
Hmm.
and they have me do an exercise while I'm doing that. So I'm
Yeah.
still fatiguing the muscle with the blood flow restriction, but I'm also fatiguing it with exercise.
Hmm.
And that way it's anaerobic exercise rather than aerobic.
Oh,
So
wow.
aerobic means blood flow is moving, anaerobic means blood flow is not moving.
Hmm.
And that blood that's down there is like going to my muscles a lot more and my bones a
Interesting.
lot more. I don't know how it all works. It
That's
makes your legs
crazy.
really, really, really tired,
Yeah.
but it was really exciting. I hope it helps. They said
Yeah.
that like the protocol that they do has been shown to like increase healing and increase strengthening like a lot. And so I'm really excited to see what happens with it. I'm
Dang.
doing it again tomorrow, so my legs are going to be tired all weekend.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Wait, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's
That's
cool.
like my biggest update is physical therapy. I also went to Nashville though. And I know
Yes.
that sounds crazy me saying that my physical therapy is the biggest update, but I didn't do too much in Nashville. I
Right.
flew down to watch my friends run the Nashville Rock and Roll half marathon that I was
Yes.
supposed to participate in, but I ended up just being the
Oh.
cheering squad. And I got to see them all like finished, and it was so
Yeah.
exciting. And then the night after they finished, we went out in Nashville. We went to Jelly Roll's bar and Lainey Wilson's
Fun.
bar.
I've never been to either of those, and I've been to Nashville a
Really?
couple times. Yeah, but that's
Yeah,
really
I
fun.
those are the only two we went to. Well, we went to Blake Shelton's bar for
Yeah.
lunch, but we
Yeah.
didn't like go to drink there or
I have
anything.
been there.
And
Yes.
it was really nice. I like we didn't go like too crazy because of course everybody had like ran that day.
Yeah.
So we were
Yeah.
we were out pretty late, but we weren't like feral or
Yeah.
anything.
Barrel.
And it was
Yeah.
really fun. We spent the majority of the time at Jelly Rolls. I was the only one that had never been to Nashville before, so I was
Yeah.
like, "Can we go where I want to go?" And I want to do it at
Yeah.
Jelly Rolls bar. And
Nice.
it just opened, I think, just
Yes,
like
it's new.
last year.
It has
So
to be. Yeah.
it was really cool. On the bottom floor, they of course had the live music, and then we went to the
Hmm.
top floor where they had a DJ, and we spent a lot of
Nice.
time on the top floor because it was pretty nice. And then his wife Bunny, she had a
Bunny
whole
XO.
She had a whole floor to herself, and me and my friend Brooke got a
What?
picture with her sign.
No, wait, I want to go.
And
Yeah, I know I know it's
she's
new because
so
I've never been.
fun.
I
Like Bunny,
know.
I love watching the videos of her because
Same.
she's like so knowledgeable. Like she's like so wise, I
Oh, I love
think.
her. Do you ever get the videos on your Instagram of both of them talking, like Bunny and Jelly Roll together, like on a
Yeah.
podcast? I love
Like they're
those.
just both like
I
they've
love
lived through
them.
so much and
I
they're like
know.
such wise people. And I love that they've like found each other because
Yes.
I feel like they needed each other.
So emotionally intelligent. Like when Jelly Roll cries and
Yes.
he's like, Bunny supported me through everything. I'm like, oh my God, I'm crying. Like I love them. No, I
Yeah.
agree. I agree. So
But
good.
then after we were in Nashville, we drove down to Kyle's sister's house and we stayed with them and the baby for 2 days.
Aw,
And
that's
we got
fun.
to see like a little taste of their life and like
Yeah.
the town that they live in, which was really
How
nice.
was it? I did not know you guys were going to do that. So that's so
Yeah,
exciting.
it was good. I mean, we just
Aw.
mostly hung around the house and we got to see like a little parts of their town. Kyle went
Yeah.
golfing with like his brother-in-law, and
Yeah.
then me and Natalie ended up just like going to get lunch together. And then we went into Chattanooga for a day, and that was
Nice.
nice.
That's fun. I love
Yeah,
that. I'm
it
so
was
jealous
really
of you
fun.
guys. That's so cute.
And then we flew back on Tuesday, so I've only been back in Virginia for 2 days, and then
Yeah.
tomorrow I'm driving to Ohio after work.
Oh my God. Yeah, I forgot that was coming really fast. That is crazy.
Yes, it's
Well,
insane.
fun
But
times.
like I said, my updates aren't too crazy. I'm done. That's all I've done since we
Wow, it
recorded
only took you
last.
8 minutes compared to
I
my
know.
22. How
So
crazy.
funny. I've
Wow.
literally am looking at my calendar and the only thing that I've done is do physical therapy, go to Nashville, and then
Dang.
come back.
The only thing. That's a lot, honestly.
Yeah, that's true.
You're bopping around.
Yeah. But this is meant to be a surprise episode. So
Yes.
now that we are 30 minutes in, we can do our
Woohoo.
little surprise topic. And it's a good thing that we had a lot to catch up on because I didn't have a super solid idea of what I wanted to do for a surprise this week.
Yeah.
I had an idea, but I was having a hard time like getting it together, I guess,
Hmm.
because you guys don't send us emails or any
Rude.
stories that you want us
Come
to
on.
react to.
Come
What
on.
I wanted to do was an unsolicited advice episode.
Oh, love. That's
And
so
we're
cute.
going to do it, but we're doing
Yes.
it with Reddit stories.
Okay. Okay. Let's do it. I'm excited. Wait,
Some
this is
of
gonna be
these
fun.
are like obvious, and
Okay.
like I feel like we're gonna have very similar answers,
Yeah.
but other of them, I know what we're gonna like differ a little bit, I think.
Yeah. Okay, wait, I'm excited. All right, so if you
I
guys are listening and you relate to these answers or you relate to these questions, I just want you to know our advice would be different for you because you're special. You're our listeners. So you better write in whether or not your stories are similar to these. Okay.
mm-hmm,
That's all I'm saying.
mm-hmm.
We want to give you
And our
advice
advice
too.
would be better because we probably know you a
We'd be
little bit
invested.
better.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. And if you want to be
And we would
anonymous, you can be that too. Okay.
not that we don't care about these people's stories because these are all real stories,
Harder
but
to connect to.
yeah, I would like to connect to people that actually care about me too, giving
Yes.
them advice.
Yes, our besties, our friendships. All right.
So
Well, I'm
I have
excited.
one, two, three, four, five, six scenarios. We might
Okay.
not get to all of them just because we have been chit-chatting for about 30
A
minutes,
lot.
but
Yeah.
I think that we can do a couple of these. Some of them are like pretty crazy. Some of them are pretty like not crazy. So we'll
Yeah.
see.
Okay. All right.
The first one I'm going to do is your friend gives you $200 to gamble and you win
Ooh.
$260,000. What would you do?
Oh, what would I do is so different than what's the right thing to do. I
Yeah,
think.
well, what do you think? I guess talk it out.
Well, okay, okay. This is what I'm thinking. I have a lot of questions. When did your friend give you $200? Was it for your birthday 2 months ago? Because then that
See,
winnings is all yours,
that's what I'm
mister.
thinking. Like, if somebody gave me $200, I'm
As a
assuming it's a
gift.
gift.
Yeah, if you loaned me $200 to go gambling, then I owe you $200 back and I get 60.
Hmm.
If you gave me
Not
$200,
$260,
that's
$260,000.
Okay, wait, hold on. In that case, oh, this is such a tizzy. Okay, I heard $260 for some reason. I'm like, all right, you get 200, I get 60 bucks. Everyone's happy. We all got our money back. Well, I really don't know. I mean, Why did they give me $200? I have more
That's the
questions than
thing. That's the
answers. It
thing with these is that
depends.
we don't have context because you didn't send us your
Okay.
stories. So
Let's do a couple scenarios and we'll each say what we would do. Okay, say the person gifted us $200 for our birthday and it was like 2 weeks ago and they were like, "It's for when we're going to the casino in 2 weeks. You're going together as friends. It's like a group thing. You win. What do you do?" I
I'm
think
keeping the
I
money.
keep all the money. Like that
Yeah.
has nothing to do with you. Sorry, but like no, I agree.
Yeah, like you gave me the money for an outing for my birthday or my
Yeah,
event or my
whatever.
whatever,
Yeah, it was a
and this
gift.
was a gift. So you don't deserve anything.
Okay, now say
It's
it's a
not
loan.
my problem that I
Say
did better.
it's not my fault that I won. No,
Yeah.
I agree. I'm keeping all the money. Okay, say the person loaned you $200 because you're like, "Oh, we're all going out to the casino tonight," and you said, "I don't really want to go. I'm staying home. I don't have money to gamble." And they say, "Okay, well, I'll give you $200. Like, just come with us." You win 260 grand. What do you do with the? Then what do
I'm
you do?
giving them the $200 in that point because
For
if I
sure,
said I'm not going because I don't have money, I guess I can give
for
you your
sure.
money back.
I'd give them
I'm
the
not
200
giving you
back. What
more
about the
than
winnings? Okay,
200.
okay, that's what I wanted to know.
No, I'm not. I gave you
No,
back
it
what
has
you were
nothing
due.
to do with them, honestly. It really doesn't. No, I agree. I think we're on the same page, and I feel like that's all the scenarios I was curious about. I think it depends. Depends on
Yeah,
how
I'm
on
not.
what context they gave you the money in. But
I will
either
never
way,
overpay you. Also, if you give me the money, I deserve to do what
I'd
I
give it
want with the
back.
money.
Right.
Like, even if I got $200 as a gift and then I
Yeah.
go to the casino completely separate from the fact that it was a
Right.
gift,
Then it
I'm not
has
required to tell you that I
no.
won $260,000 with your
True.
money.
By the way, that's the other thing. When you win stuff like the lottery, and I don't know about casino, it can be private. You know, when you win the lottery, you don't have to tell anybody that you win the
Yeah.
lottery. That's like
You're allowed to
private.
keep it anonymous.
Just saying. Interesting.
That's
Interesting.
so funny.
That was just a funny one. I like it.
That was funny. I wanted to start with that one. I thought I could start or end with it. I didn't know which
Yeah.
way it would be better,
The
but I thought it
icebreaker.
was good. Yeah. Okay, this one is called How Should I Handle My Boyfriend Being Late Again?
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So, my boyfriend, 31 male, and I, 29 female, live together. Today being Friday, we both worked until about 3 o'clock. We plan to go out on a date tonight because we haven't been in months. After work, my boyfriend went to visit his friend. He said he wouldn't be long and we are still going out tonight. I asked him when he would be home and he's changed his mind to say between 5 and 5:30. Then he would just change out of his clothes and we can leave. Now, just to be clear, this isn't my first time my boyfriend made plans with me and then would show up 4 to 5 hours late. This also
Ooh.
isn't the second or sadly the third time. I absolutely hate sitting around and waiting for him to show up. I have talked about this each time he shows up late. He then promises to be better. Also important to note, he never shows up late for other appointments, just seemingly with me. How do
Ooh.
I manage this? How do I get the idea through to him that he makes me feel unimportant and like absolute shit?
Ooh. That's a hard one. Okay. First of all,
I think you need to
hmm.
dump your boyfriend.
4 to 5 hours late is pretty wild. Like that's more than just like, oh my gosh, he makes me 10 minutes late for everywhere and it's getting really annoying. Like 4 to 5
Yeah.
hours is quite extreme, but
And
also
also
like,
saying you're going to your friend's house
yeah,
rather than just coming home for date night.
who's your friend? Like, first of all, my question is like, do you know that he's going to his friend's house or is he sus? Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, it could
Like
be,
I think that's probably a question that the Reddit thread probably asked is like,
probably.
well, do you know that he's going to a guy friend's house or is he going to hang out with a girl or
Right. Like,
something like
what
that?
is
But I
it?
don't think
But
that
they live
matters.
together.
Yeah.
So
I
that's
just don't
also
think it
weird.
matters who he's going to see because either way, he's not prioritizing the time that you want to spend together. He's going to hang out with someone else, whether that's a guy
Right.
friend or a girlfriend or like an affair or whatever.
Right.
Not right.
This is what my advice would be to you, listener, who's not listening to this. We should, you know, what we should do is go back and comment on these Reddit threads and say, hey, we featured your story in our episode. Here's the link.
Mm,
Why have I
hmm
not thought of that last time we did this? I'm 100% doing that, or you can do that. Whoever, we'll do that when this goes live. We're going to comment the links because that'd be really cool. People might like start listening from that.
hmm
So if you're here from the comment that we're going to leave, thank you and we love you and
This
please
is
stay
all in the future.
and write into us. Yeah. Write into us your stories because you guys obviously have them. Okay, so this is my advice. If you want to stay with this man, there's two ways. If you want to stay with this man and if you don't. And both are fine. Okay? Both are valid. So like Marissa was saying, like if he's not prioritizing you and that's what you need, then you cannot stay with this man.
Bye bye.
If you want to, and you're like, no, I want to work through this, I think we can get to a place where he's wanting to spend time with me. That's fine too. But you have some things to figure out. First of all, you got to figure out why. Okay, you got
Hmm.
to figure out the why. Like, why is he not wanting to spend his time at home? Is he going through something, whether it's related to you or not? Like, is home not a good place for him to go? Because I used to have a situation where I lived with Angelo, but I also lived with other roommates, and home was where I felt the worst. And that is like the worst
Mm-hmm.
thing in the world is like when you dread going home rather than going out. Now I'm like, you can't get me out of my house. But that's the thing. So you need to figure out why. The other piece of advice is you can't just be waiting on him the whole time. Now, I understand it because I've been there and I would probably do the same thing, but you got to get some hobbies, girl, or you got to do the same thing. You got to go give him if it's your last resort, give him what he's giving you. Go out and be gone for a long time. Be like, I'll be home whenever I'm out with my girlfriends. Do what you got to do to like distract yourself and have some time where you're not just sitting around ruminating, because ruminating is what makes problems even worse than they ever were, is like sitting on it and being like in your head. So that's my two pieces of advice. If you want to leave him because he's not giving you what you need, okay, girl, go power to you. If you want to stay with him and this is a good relationship, because we know nothing about your relationship, so how would I know? You got to figure out why, and you got to work on getting some hobbies. Those are my pieces of
Yeah.
advice.
I just feel like it's hard to say that I would try and reason with the person because if you're not willing to make time for me, how am I willing to stay there and wait for you? I understand like I can get
Yeah.
hobbies and everything and like fill my time with other stuff while you're busy, but there's no reason for you to be busy. We planned a date night. There's no reason that you shouldn't be able to make that work.
Yeah, I agree with that to an extent, but I guess my approach also came from the fact of like, I don't know this girl. Like maybe
Hmm.
this girl's doing the same thing back on the weekends. You know what I mean? Like
That's
just because they
true.
plan, like I don't know anyone's backstory. So I guess it's also hard to say like maybe she's not prioritizing him in other ways.
Hmm.
Not to shame my Reddit girl, because more power to you, girl, but it's just so hard because I know nothing about you, girl.
Yeah,
So
I
it's hard.
get that. And that's the hard part with these stories is I'm taking
Yeah.
it as like this is the only thing that's important and
Yeah,
you're
or the
thinking
truth.
about it as like there's
Yeah.
more important things that are a part of the story, which is probably the right way to look at it
No,
because
I just always play devil's advocate, and so I try to do
mhm,
both because I've
yeah.
always been, since I was a kid, for some reason I'm always playing the devil's advocate. I'm like, what about this?
And
Like, I don't know
I
why.
do in like certain
Yeah.
situations, but like I feel like this one just like really hurts me because I would hate to not be
Mm,
prioritized. And I feel like
totally.
this one is
I
definitely
agree.
like he's proving that he can't prioritize you. You
Yeah.
haven't been on a date night in months. You haven't been able to do anything. You both get off work at the same time. And then he's still 3 hours late. Like that's insane
Yeah.
to me.
Hours late is very confusing to me too. I'm like, I need to understand this better, because how are you that many hours late for something where you live there? You
Yeah,
know?
like 10 to 30 minutes. Like I get like just
Yeah.
running behind traffic, like needing a little second after you get off work before we go out on date night. But like
Yeah.
the rest of it, I'm like, that is so
It's
much time
wild.
for you to not be able to get there.
Yeah. It's really weird. I don't know what to tell you, girl. You got
Very
this. I'm sure
interesting.
she's already solved it by now.
Well, let's see. Oh, it was only posted 6 days ago. Maybe she hasn't solved
Mm.
it.
All right, our link will be helpful then.
Yeah. Okay, the next one. I feel like we might have different answers for this one too.
Ooh, okay.
It says, how do I explain to my partner that I don't celebrate birthdays? Long story short, we've been
Oh.
dating for 5 years, and each year she tries to have me celebrate my birthday. Each year I tell her I don't and to please stop. This year she's hoping to throw a surprise party, but it was leaked to me. I want to have a conversation and tell her I feel like
Oh
it's
my God.
disrespectful to continuously have me celebrate a day I extremely dislike, but I don't know how to go about it.
Ooh, this is really hard. This is actually a really good one. And you gotta tell her why. Because I
Yeah.
can understand being the girl and being like, oh, like he says he doesn't want anything, but everyone wants to be celebrated and feeling like
Hmm.
inside, like, oh my gosh, I love being celebrated. Everyone loves being celebrated, even when you're shy or even when you're like, oh, don't sing to me, but you're still having a fun time with your friends. So I can understand the girl's perspective of being like, yeah, let's throw him a surprise party because he always says he doesn't want to do anything, but I'm sure, he'll like it.
Like just invite people over to the house. Like he doesn't have to
Yeah,
do
it's
anything. It's
not a
just his
huge thing.
friends.
Yeah, so I think that she needs the reason. Unless there's not a reason, in which case I think it's going to be incredibly hard to get her to understand
Hmm.
why you don't want to celebrate birthdays. But it sounds like there's something, like
Yeah, because it says like a
it's
day that
very
I extremely
intentional.
dislike, so it
Yeah.
feels like there's a reason behind it.
Yeah, my thing is you got to tell her why. You got to give her a good reason or be vulnerable, just like show a little bit of emotion as to why you decide what you decide and go from there. But I
Yeah.
don't think it doesn't sound like something that someone would do out of disrespect. I wouldn't be like, I'm gonna throw you a birthday party every year because I fucking hate you. Like you're dating, they're
Yeah.
in love, so she's probably doing it because she thinks that deep down you want it, but you don't want to express that you want it. So you have
hmm
to really make it clear, I think.
I also feel like you might have to have a compromise because in my situation, Kyle doesn't super love enjoy like celebrating his birthday, but I love
Hmm.
birthdays. And I
Yeah.
feel like we have to come to a compromise where it's like, I really want to celebrate you, but I understand that you don't want to do anything crazy. Can
Yeah.
we celebrate at home together? Like
Yeah.
something like that,
Figure
coming
out.
together and being like,
Yeah.
I don't really like that it's my birthday. We don't have to call it my birthday, but maybe make me dinner this night or like
Yes.
maybe just get me a surprise gift and don't like get a happy birthday card. Don't get me balloons. Don't get me a cake. Just
Yeah.
like bring me a new t-shirt that you think I would like or something
Yeah.
small.
I like that. Yeah, you got to figure out what they would want, right? So even if you don't like celebrating your birthday, pick another. Okay, maybe you can compromise if you really are really against the birthday thing. You could compromise by picking your half anniversary with your girlfriend. So you have your one
Yeah,
year
or like
anniversary, like
another
do your
day of the
half.
week of your birthday
Yeah,
week and just like not say that it's for your
just make
birthday.
it
Just
something
do like
else.
a random Monday that week, like unless that is the day your birthday falls on, but like just a random other day
Yeah,
that week and just be like,
yeah,
hey, we're gonna just do a
do
little in-home
something.
date night or something.
Yeah, I think that's a good answer. Now
Yeah,
you
I
know.
think you have to tell her why.
Yeah.
So to culminate our advice now,
Yes.
you have to tell her why. And if you don't have a reason why, then you have to compromise. And
Yeah.
if you do have a reason why, she then has to understand why and then also maybe still make a compromise.
Yeah.
Maybe she's compromising more and like you don't do anything that week or that month, but you do something later in the
Else.
year.
Yeah. Yeah. You can do a half anniversary. You could even do like first day of summer every year. First day of summer, we're doing a party. Like just
hmm
something fun for her to plan and put her energy toward.
Yeah, because
I
I
don't
feel
know.
like a birthday is obviously a day that you would plan something.
Yeah.
So if you don't want to do something that day, just be like, hey, let's plan another day that we can do something exciting.
I saw this couple on Instagram that they so they have kids, multiple, and they had their baby crawl towards one. They had four cakes, one for each house of Harry Potter, and they had their baby crawl towards each one. The baby's like 18 months old or something, and it crawls towards the one, and then that's its Harry Potter house for its life. And it's just like a silly thing they did on Instagram. And
Yeah.
then the
I feel
next
like that could
year,
be so bad because it like profiles you into one personality, but you have
literally,
one entirely different.
yes, and you're 18 months old, like you know anything.
Yeah.
But then the next year, it was like, okay, our baby turns 18 months today, so it's time. They're doing the Harry Potter thing. And then I also saw this other couple who was doing a similar kind of thing where they made, I'm trying to remember what it is, this completely different couple, but they made, I don't know, like a pastry on a random day. I don't know. Maybe they were like, today we're going to try making croissants. It seems really hard. We're just going to try it. And they did it. And they did it on like, let's just say February 26th. And then they were like, okay, cool, we did it. And we brought them to all our friends and all our friends loved it. Then the next year on February 26th, for whatever reason, they're like, let's do it again. And they
Croissant
did it
day.
again. Croissant day. Yeah. So you could just make a fun thing. And then that day you just make a bunch of treats and you deliver them to your friends and you just spread happiness to someone
hmm
else. Like maybe you want to
Yeah.
celebrate your birthday for yourself. Maybe you can do something for someone else.
Yeah. I know
Good
a lot of
advice.
people nowadays are like celebrating their birthday by raising money for a charity. So
Yeah.
maybe
I
that's
like
the
that.
compromise. Like, I don't want to celebrate myself, but we can definitely go out and volunteer on this day, or we
Yeah.
can like raise money on this day,
I love
or
that.
like invite all our friends over and we like do something for a cause, like go to a 5K and do a
Yeah.
walk for like a charity.
Love. That's a good idea. Ooh, I love it. I'm feeling inspired.
Yes. Okay, the next one, I feel like this one's gonna make me mad. I didn't read this all the way just because like the
Okay.
headline was like so striking. I was
Oh.
like, oh, we have to do this one. This one says, I had a seizure in class and students recorded it.
Oh.
Hello, I was in a lecture hall when I started to feel dizzy. I stood up, walked towards the exit, and fell. I tumbled down the steps and landed at the bottom of the stairs where I began seizing.
Oh my
Someone
God.
turned me over and tried to help, but others recorded it, apparently. I had like urinated on myself and my shirt had
Oh.
like exposed me, and someone like took a video and I'm not sure how it happened. I was seizing for 4 minutes and this was my first ever seizure. I left the hospital today and this happened last Friday. Today, someone sent me a Snapchat that said, just so you know, and it was the video of the event
Oh.
posted on
They
multiple
sent
social media platforms. Is there
what?
anything I can do about this?
Yes, you could probably report that for harassment, first of
Yeah.
all. Yeah,
That's
go to the
also
police if you want.
insane that somebody
That's
has the
insane.
gall to take a video of somebody that's obviously having a hard time.
Yeah, that's crazy. I wish you could see my face while you were reading. When you watch this back, you're gonna die because I was sitting here like what? Are you freaking kidding? I wish this was like an am I the asshole? Because no, obviously they're the asshole. That is
Yeah.
the only right answer in the story. That's insane. First of all, I'm sorry that that was your first seizure and it had to be like a public 4 minute. 4 minutes is a long time for a
That
seizure.
is a really long time. I don't know if you've ever witnessed a seizure. I
Oh,
did at my place of work. Somebody
yeah,
had a seizure and I don't think anybody in the building knew that they had like a seizure disorder or anything.
yeah.
And it's
That's
really
scary.
scary. And
Yeah,
I understand taking a video for like diagnostic purposes because I know
yeah.
a lot of people will take videos of their own seizures to show to their neurologist
Not it
so
being on
that they
social
can
media.
see, yeah, so that they
For
can see
what?
what happens. And
Yeah.
I would understand if you said like a student in your class took that video and gave it to you separately so
Right.
that you could like then show it
Yeah.
to a neurologist later
Yeah.
on. But this is not that
That's
situation at
crazy.
all.
Also, not the person sending them on Snapchat and being like, just so you know,
Hey,
video, video,
look,
video, video.
that's
No,
horrible.
I just hate this one. I
Yeah.
don't have any advice. Well, I do. Report them for harassment if you would like. I believe that you have
Sue
every right
them.
to
You
do so.
probably can
Like,
sue them.
yeah, it also happened like I don't know, in the classroom. Maybe there's some kind of rules with being on a campus. I don't know. Look into it for sure. Look into the log room. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
This one was only posted 23 hours ago, so
Oh
that's
my
very,
gosh. Okay,
very
wait. I'm
fresh.
actually like itching with excitement to post our links on these because I just think it's going to be so fun. Like, I hope we can help you. If you're here,
That's
I'm
funny.
so sorry. That's just so frustrating. I think a
It's
4 minute
so
seizure is so
frustrating.
long. And so I hope that you got like, you figured out what you need to figure out about why that happened to you because that is definitely serious. And for it to
Yeah,
be your
and it
first time.
said with it being 23 hours ago, it sounds like they left the hospital yesterday and it
Oh
was
my
last
God.
Friday. So
That is
like,
so wild.
yeah,
All
so
right.
very recent.
Well, DM us or email us with a follow up if you're listening to this.
Yeah.
Anyone, if
I mean,
anyone's
you don't
listening to
have to tell
this,
us your medical history,
no,
but
no.
I'm sorry if
You
this
don't even have to tell us
happened.
your name. Just like if you want to give us a follow up and we could do a follow up episode. Oh, that'd be so fun. Okay.
Yes.
Anyways, that was good. That was
Okay,
good.
this one's a little bit longer, so I'll be reading for a little bit
Okay.
more. Okay. I, 32 female, feel my husband, 34 male, isn't being equitable with his time helping around the house. I'm demanding more and he is shutting me down. Am I being unfair? I tried to
Mm.
post in the relationship advice subreddit, but I made a throwaway account and don't meet the minimum karma for that sub, so here's my post.
Hello.
I use the word equity here because I am the breadwinner between us, but I
Mm.
also work long hours. I make about 4 times as much as him and work 10 to 11 hours a day with a commute. He
Oh.
works from home only 8 hours a day. I come home and have about 4 hours of time after work to spend cooking, cleaning, going to the gym. After that, I have maybe about 1 hour to read or watch Netflix and just spend time with my husband. And I need some time to just decompress. For him, he is done after only 8 hours of work. He could spend another 3 hours doing chores every day, and we would even on the time spent working just when I got home. And right now, I already spend twice as much as time as him weekly doing housework. I started pushing him to do more. I didn't ask him to do more than me, just to at least match the amount of time that I put in. With that, I would have more time for us and for me, at least more than 1 hour every day. That request is too much for him. He says I'm controlling because I make all the money, but I am equitable with my resource money. I make about 4 times more, so I pay about 75 to 80% of the bills so he can have more of his own money. I want him to be equitable with his resource time so I can have more time. I feel pretty certain that I am being fair here, but I'd like to hear some other opinions, please.
This is interesting. I kind of hate unsolicited advice. I'm like, wait, this is being on this side of it. I'm like, I don't know because I don't want anyone to be offended by my opinion.
Yeah,
Um,
well, again, we don't know these people, so you can
yeah,
be a little more willing to offend them, I guess,
yeah,
because they won't
so
know. But if we
scary.
are like messaging, I
I
mean, I don't
know.
think anything that you say would be
I'm
offensive
not,
because
no, I'm
they
not
are
going to be,
asking
yeah,
for
I'm not going to be
advice
mean, you
too.
guys, swear, but I think my opinion's going to come off controversial for sure. What the fuck chores are taking 3 hours a day that he needs to be doing? That's what I want to know, genuinely. And I'm not saying
Hmm.
like he shouldn't be or you're saying the wrong thing. Not saying that any of that, but like, what needs to get done? That's what I really genuinely want to know. Because if you're saying like I'm working 11 hours a day, so should he, I don't personally feel that that's a fair thing to say at all. And I don't know. I just think like if you want to play tit for tat, then you're going to get into like a lifetime of playing tit for tat, and
Hmm.
it's going to get really annoying. So I just want to understand like what does he need to do that's 3 hours a day, or are you just saying 3 hours a day because that's how long you work, so that's how long he should work?
I think that's what
That's
it
what I'm
was saying is
confused.
like she's trying to spend resources equally. So she said that she has more
Yeah,
money, so she spends more money on the bills.
right.
So she has less time, he has more
Oh,
time,
this is
therefore
so
he needs to
tricky.
spend more time, which I get the
Yeah,
equitability there and the
yeah,
like the need for equitability because she's not saying that we need to do the same things, like spend the same amount of money on the mortgage and spend the same amount of time
right.
working on the house. But I get where she's
Oh,
coming from of saying she's spread too thin right now. So she's asking
totally,
for a little bit more help.
totally. I've
And
been there.
it sounds like, based off of what I was reading, that she's doing all the cooking, all the cleaning, and still working more to bring in
Yeah.
more money to the house. And I think that is unfair.
Totally. That is, I agree. I've been there with being too spread thin. And I'm like, I need help or these things aren't going to get done. Period.
Hmm.
Like, I'm not doing them either way. So I either need your help to pick up these extra chores this week, next week, whatever, for this year, whatever,
Hmm.
or those chores are just going to go undone for weeks and you'll have to deal with it. I think that's one option. Second thing, this is so tricky because every couple just does what's right for them. So I can't even put myself in your shoes, writer. Like I can't because I'm like Angelo and I are very split. We do 50-50. We do 50-50 bills. We do 50-50 pretty much on house chores. We do 50-50 pretty much everything. And that works for us. That doesn't mean it works for you. So I don't even understand having I think if I were to pay more on bills, even if I was making more money, I still think I would have resentment as a, personally because I know myself. So I think it's tricky to understand writer or whatever, whoever, um, where you're coming from because I wonder if you have resentment too because you're carrying a heavier load, right? They always talk about the mental load on women. That's like a thing that's popular to talk about, right? Like the mental load. You have to do
I
your
talk
work.
about that all the time.
Yeah, you have to do your house chores. If you're a parent, then you have to have the kids and you have to carry the burden of literally physically carrying the kids, birthing the kids, all of that hard work. Then you have to also parent the kids. And it's just a big conversation, the mental load on women. Um, but in my experience too, I'm like, I also don't, I do think it's a dangerous game to play tit for tat and say, you need to do this much because I do this much. And I get that she's trying to say equitable and not equal. And I do understand that those are different, but I just think this is tricky. I almost have no advice because I'm like, I don't even want to get into it.
Yeah, I
Make a
feel
chore
like
sheet and divide it how you divide your income. You pay 75 to 85% of the income, then have a chore sheet and put literally 75 to 85% of the chores in his column and put the rest in yours and then have a conversation about it. And don't present it and be like, this is what you have to do because I'm the breadwinner, I make XYZ. Present it as I'm feeling really tough. I make 75% of the income. How would you feel about if you did 75% of the chores because you work less than me and make it a convo? I think every problem always comes back to communication too. So I think
yeah,
these are hard to understand because I don't know how you're communicating. Like in the post, she said, he told me I, what did he say?
he
He
was
told me I'm
he said that she was
controlling.
being
Yeah.
controlling.
And so I'm like, but what's the conversation, right? So I'm like, for both parties, like, no one just out of nowhere is like, you're so controlling. I hate you, unless something's going on. So I just think, yeah, that's all. I don't have any advice. I'm like, you need to talk about it. You need open communication. I think both people have to come from the right headspace and a non-accusatory place, which is very hard to get to. So I don't even know what
Hmm.
to tell you guys. Make a chore sheet, talk about
I
it. I don't
think
know. It's really hard.
I think my advice is that he does need to take on a little bit more work
Yeah,
because
and
right
that
now
might be
it
true.
sounds like he's not doing anything based off the way that this is written. And then him calling you controlling for not being able to take on at least a little bit of that, like that chores load is insane
Yeah.
because if you're working more and you're providing more, I think that it's fair that the other person fills in the gaps,
Yeah, I
sort
agree.
of. It's not like it goes back to the equitable versus equal. Like she's not asking you to do everything exactly how she does, but she's asking you to meet her where her gaps lay.
Right.
And you're not doing that right now, it seems,
Yeah.
because you're not filling in those. like not saying that you need to do the 2 to 3 hours of chores after like while
Right.
she's like commuting home or finishing her day at work. But if you could do one chore and like make dinner so that dinner
Right.
is ready when she gets home, that would one, make your mealtime earlier, so you probably have more time to spend together after. And two, it removes that from her load.
Yeah, it's so hard because I'm like, I just can't put myself in the place because I've not experienced this and I feel grateful for that. But I'm like, even when Angela was in school, I was cooking dinner literally every day. I felt like a housewife. But now that he's out of school, I'm like, that's too much for me. I can't. And he's like, okay, like we're going to work on that. We're going to fix that and we're going to find a new routine, a new pattern. So you have to, I think, both be willing to have those conversations and be honest with each other and make compromises and also not be accusatory, which I think is a really hard part. I think for both parties, for everybody involved, I think it's really easy to be like, well, I do this and you do that. And you have to come at it from a level headed place. And by have to, I just mean that's my advice. You don't have
Hmm.
to do anything. But I just think that's the best way that you can go about it to get a result that you want is to try to be open and honest with each other and be more about the feelings than the equity, right? Be more about this is how I feel. Not you're not equitable, you're not giving me 80% of chores or whatever. Be this makes me feel unheard, or this makes me
Hmm.
feel like I can't keep up, or this makes me feel like I've
I
spent
can't be a
every
good
last
partner to
energy.
you.
Yes, like
Yeah.
whatever it makes you feel, I think you have to focus on the feeling and talk about that because at the end of the day, that's the problem, right? You're having this problem because you're not feeling appreciated or you're not feeling good about what is happening. So you have to say that. So I think you just got to be honest because I totally agree. Like, yes, when one partner has to pull, one other partner has to push or whatever. Like, you have to fill in the holes here and there. And that will change through your life when you go through different stages. Like, one person sometimes does more. At least that's how me and Angela have. We've kind of gone through a pattern of like one person makes more money while the other one doesn't. And then we switch. And it just kind of happens like
Mm-hmm.
that. Or one person does way more house stuff, but the other person's focused on school or work. So it's just a dance. That's what I say.
Hmm.
It's life's a dance. But it's so hard. I actually hate this. Like, I actually hate giving these advices because I'm like, I think it's also very common. This is why I struggle with these advice things, is because most of these tend to be from a woman point of view and talking about a
Mm.
male. And I think in society, it's very common to just say men are trash and shit on men. And I don't completely agree with that. So that's also why I struggle with these because I'm like, I want to give this guy a voice too. Like, I want to hear both your sides. And I do agree things should be equitable between two partners, but I do have a hard time because I'm like, I don't
Yeah,
want
that's the
anyone
entire
to
reason
like,
of a partnership too. So I feel like if
yes,
you have
it's
a hard time being
partners.
equitable, that's crazy because you're in a partnership.
Yes, you both have to work. So, yeah, I don't have any more advice. You guys heard my thoughts. That's so crazy. These are like so hard. I can't, it's really weird to imagine though that these are real people asking for real advice.
I
I'm
know.
like, a lot could ride on that.
Yeah, and that one was only
That's a
from
good one.
8 hours ago.
Oh my gosh. Girl, if you're listening, I just want you to know I'm not hating on you. I'm just trying to be an advocate for everyone in life and in situations, but totally agree with Marissa's points too. I really do.
Hmm. Well, I miscounted and that was my last one.
We're at an hour. Like, we really filled the time.
Yeah.
Well, I hope that you all are listening, those of you who wrote into Reddit, and maybe you're surprised it ended up on a podcast somewhere. Hopefully that's cool with you. I'll just
I
call you
didn't
all
say your names or
anonymous.
your
Yeah, it's
Reddit
all
handles or
anonymous.
anything, so
Exactly. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this, listeners and writers, if you're here. I just think
yeah,
it's so crazy that you could be here.
you could.
Anyways, okay, well that was really fun.
It was
I
really
love I
fun.
love how on a simple note we started and how on a serious note we ended. I'm like,
I
oh my gosh,
know.
we really escalated.
I
I
should
love
have
it.
done it the opposite way. Oops.
That's okay. We got you guys what you need. Please, if you're like a listener listening to this, let us know in the YouTube comments because it's probably the longest place you're allowed to comment your thoughts on the stories.
Hmm.
Specifically, the gambling one is what I want to know. What would you do with the
Yeah.
what would you do with the $200? But also the others too. Please let us
Uh-huh.
know your opinions and yeah, I guess that's it.
Hmm.
So follow us to stay up to date. You guys know the drill. At We Run on Coffee on Instagram. We are posting so much, you guys. I can't stop. I'm like a little social media like crazy person. I'm like, "Arr!" I'm posting 100 times a day. But also stay tuned for next week's episode because that is an Arika episode where I'm going to be bringing a topic which I'm excited about, something I've been promising you guys, and I stay true to my word. Okay, so I'm bringing it. But yeah, that's all, and I guess we will just see you guys next time.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
And with that, I'm Erica.
And I'm Marissa.
And
And
we
we
run
run
on
on
coffee.
coffee.